I wrote a story about my mom's job and got sent to therapy. Mr. Phillips told us to write about what our parents do for work. Make it interesting, he said. Tell a story. My mom's a veterinarian, so I wrote about last Tuesday when she had to put 3 dogs to sleep. I thought it was sad but honest. She came home exhausted, said it was a hard day. 1 dog was old, 1 was sick, 1 got hit by a car. She held each one while they went to sleep, made sure they weren't scared. That's what she does. I turned it in Friday. Monday morning, I got called to the counselor's office. Mrs. Reynolds had my story on her desk. The school psychologist sat next to her. Both of them looked at me like I was fragile. We need to talk about what you wrote, Mrs. Reynolds said. Okay, you wrote that your mother killed 3 dogs. She put them to sleep. She's a vet. You wrote that she held them down while they died. She held them so they felt safe. That's literally her job. The psychologist leaned forward. Do you feel safe at home? What? Does your mother ever hurt you? No. She's a veterinarian. She helps animals. But you wrote that she kills them. I wrote that she euthanizes them when they're suffering. That's different. Mrs. Reynolds pulled out a highlighted section. You wrote, Mom said it was a hard day. She had to put 3 to sleep. 1 was old and couldn't walk anymore. Yeah, that's true. And this doesn't disturb you? Should it? It's her job. She went to school for 8 years to do it. The psychologist made a note. We're going to need to speak with your mother. About what? About concerning patterns we're seeing in your home environment. She puts down sick animals. It's literally veterinary medicine. They looked at each other. We're calling her in, and we're contacting CPS. You're calling Child Protective Services because my mom's a vet? My mom arrived an hour later. Still had dog hair on her scrubs. Still had her stethoscope around her neck. She walked in looking confused. What's this about? We need to discuss something your son wrote, Mrs. Reynolds said. She slid my story across the table. My mom read it. Then she read it again. Then she looked up. This is about work. Last Tuesday. We're concerned about the content. The content of my job? The content of what he described you doing. My mom blinked. I'm a veterinarian. I run Riverside Animal Hospital. I've been in practice for 12 years. Here. She pulled out her phone, showed them her clinic's website, her license, her diplomas. Last Tuesday, I euthanized 3 animals. A 15-year-old golden retriever with organ failure, a cat with untreatable cancer, and a dog that got hit by a car and wouldn't survive surgery. Their owners were there. They made the choice. I performed the procedure. That's veterinary medicine. She looked at the psychologist. You thought what? That I was murdering dogs in my basement? That my son was witnessing animal abuse? She picked up my story. He wrote that I came home tired, that I was sad, that it was a hard day, because euthanasia is hard. It's the worst part of the job, but it's also mercy. And he understood that, which is more than I can say for either of you. Mrs. Reynolds opened her mouth. My mom cut her off. He wrote, put to sleep, because that's the term we use with families. He wrote that I held them because I do, so they're not alone, so it's peaceful. He wrote that 1 was old, because he was 16 years old, couldn't walk, in pain. His family loved him enough to let him go. And somehow you read that and saw abuse. The psychologist closed her folder. Mrs. Reynolds was reorganizing papers that didn't need organizing. My mom stood up. Next time, maybe Google, what does a veterinarian do before calling CPS? Come on, sweetie. I grabbed my backpack. As we left, I heard Mrs. Reynolds say something to the psychologist. It sounded like, how were we supposed to know? But quieter. The assignment was to write about my mom's job. I got reported to Child Protective Services for it.